Reality. Reality receipts.
Hi, guys. Welcome back to the Reality Receipts podcast starring me, Storytime with Ricky.
And me, Reality Ashley. We're back to talk about Love is Blind Denver, Season 9, Episode 9, the last of this last little crazy drop. Before we get into our recap, though, a little tiny receipt report. Madison from this season was on the Vile Files today. So, yeah, she had lots to say about Joe, obviously. She talked about that night, the fight in Baja. She says she didn't know he was so drunk. She thought he went to go take a nap just because he was tired. She didn't know he was that drunk. She's like, I wasn't counting his drinks. I feel like just even as viewers, we saw him doing shots and it was pretty clear he was drunk, but like we've said in our other recap, she was obviously a little drunk too. So maybe that's what she's meaning. I wasn't noticing the level he was at. Now I'm thinking watching back, she gets it, but that's what she said.
I also think that in the episode, we've seen her ask him a few times, did you drink too much? Did you drink too much? So I think she did kind of have, but like you said, I think the problem with that whole thing was they were both incoherent.
Yeah.
She wasn't at his level to where she was blacked out, but I don't think, you know what I mean? Because it was obvious, and she also asked him. So it had to be a thought in your mind. But again, it's a fleeting thought when your mind is focused on how you feel and your feelings in that moment because you're also lit. So you're
Yeah.
just whatever. However people act when they're lit. Sometimes some people are really nice. Some people get a little bratty. Some people get a little aggressive. I think she just gets. I don't know the word for it, but continue.
Emotional,
What
I
else
guess.
to say?
She said it was about 5 hours that she was at the party without him. So he was sleeping for a while, which would explain his confusion, what day it is, because we didn't know maybe it was an hour, right? But no, it was 5. He was sleeping for 5 hours. So that's why he woke up disoriented and then seemed okay because he did sleep it off quite a bit. So that makes sense to me. She said it was production that told her to wake him up because they said you're scheduled to film with him tonight. So your options are go wake him up or check on him is the word she used. Go check on him so we can film or go to your own room. So they're basically telling her if you don't go in the room, you're not getting any camera time tonight, but might have been the best choice. I think they probably should have made that the only choice, knowing he had to go sleep. I would have probably just said, we don't think it's safe for you in there because we don't know this man. We don't know how he is blacked out. He might wake up and not know who you are and get freaked out. But they told her, if you want you're filming, you got to go in there and wake him up or check on him. So that's kind of what we suspected, right? We didn't think that was necessarily her decision, but they did give her the choice, she says.
Well, it is her decision, right?
Yeah.
Because if I know, well, again, she's saying she doesn't know that he's blacked out drunk. So you had two options. You could have left him alone, or you could have went in there and checked on him. And once you've seen he is discombobulated, you could have left him alone. You could have walked away. But again, I guess if you don't know somebody's drunk and you're kind of drunk yourself and then they're irritating you, so now you're in an Aggie mood, yeah, that's going to cause a conflict because nobody's aware of their surroundings. Nobody's aware. There's no awareness going on in the room.
No.
I personally would have probably been like, you know what? Let him sleep it off. We'll
Yeah.
pick up cameras in the morning. But when you want camera time, you're not going to do that. Do you think she's kind of maybe starting these arguments for the camera time?
I don't know. I mean, we don't know who's genuine and who's not, who's leaning into the fame of it all. Obviously, we know that she had PR put in place a month before the show came out, emailing around, trying to get her press, which is smart, right? So, but she's definitely embracing the fame of it all. She also said she's watched every single season and she, is a huge fan of the show, but that's because of her eye condition. It's interesting to her. So that makes sense. So, they're all there for fame at this point, so I don't ever want to put that on oh, she's only there for fame. But I definitely think that she's leaning into it. But I also think Joe is serving her on a silver platter to be the hero here, and he's the bad guy, right? The way he's acting is not good. So I don't think he's doing anything maliciously, but he's also not being he's not appearing to be someone who's ready to get married, getting blackout drunk constantly. So,
Yeah, yeah. It's like I have so many thoughts about it because I do think Joe sucks, but
yeah.
I also think that Madison is not the hero that everyone's painting her out to be. Like, even in this last argument they had in episode 8, like, for anybody to watch that and think, like, which again, everybody's entitled to their opinion, but people are going to lengths of, like, saying that I'm misogynistic because I don't agree with Madison, which is a crazy take, right? Like, just because I don't
Mhm,
agree with what a woman's doing doesn't mean that I'm misogynistic, but I just think that she's a little argumentative. She's a little like,
mhm.
she does not let Joe speak. Do I think that Joe needs to be better at picking his words and, like, watch what he says and, like, he doesn't really communicate well? Absolutely, but I don't think that she's a hero, but I think, like, she seems like maybe Netflix's darling. She's running around kinda trashing Joe.
She also said she went to the end to proposal day with another guy. She wouldn't say who. She's like, "He wasn't on camera." So she wasn't so sure about Joe. So to go
Oh,
to the proposal day with another man and ultimately pick Joe, I see why he has reservations 2, 3 days later, like, "Oh, you're so sure about me." I don't know if he knew that in the time, she didn't
right.
say.
That's a good
But,
answer.
she definitely wasn't like, "It was Joe, I knew it was Joe the whole time." She went right to the end with someone else too.
So she kinda had a situation where it was like, I need to pick who I'm good, like, kinda like was that Annie? Like, kind of like a Nick, Brendan, Annie type of thing where both of them were ready to propose to her, and
Yeah,
she had to pick which
yes.
one up.
She had to
Oh,
break up with one of them. Yeah. So, uh-huh. Well, actually, I don't know. She said they went to proposal day. So, I don't know. Maybe he
that's
didn't
pretty
propose.
far within
Oh,
that's
yeah. That's the
far.
end. She said the end. So, she didn't say, though. So, I don't know if this man was like, "I would date you, but I don't wanna get engaged," and she went with Joe because he would propose, or if they both proposed and she turned one down. She didn't give that detail yet, but definitely I would like to know that because if she had 2 options and picked Joe, then it's like, okay, that makes sense that she is so sure. But if the other one didn't propose, I can see why Joe is a little bit like, "How are you so sure now when, like, in the pods you were torn between me and someone else," right?
Well,
And it seems
I
as
think,
though
even if you went forward with Joe, for somebody to last 10 days, you had to be a little torn. You know what I mean?
very
So I think it's fair for Joe to be asking expect I highly doubt that Joe doesn't know that, right? I'm sure they talked about
yes.
each other's other connections and, like, who everyone was talking to, at least once you get to Mexico,
Mhm.
so I don't think I honestly, when I went back and watched the scene between her and Joe, the man asked her if she was nervous about him meeting her family because or
Yes.
scared that she was meeting his family because he's the only guy to meet her family. I don't think that that's a crazy question. I don't think that question should have led to the argument that they had. So, and now
Mhm.
hearing this new information, I understand why it's like, how are you so sure when you were torn between me and a whole other guy. And I think that people confuse this experiment with, like, actual dating, right? Like, or
Yes.
actual proposing and stuff, right? We've seen it with Annie and Patrick, which we'll get into in our recap, but I just that's interesting. That's an interesting little tidbit that I didn't know.
Yes. Yeah, because they never really mentioned that in the pods. It looked like they were the only 2 for each other, right? We didn't even see them talk to anyone else. So they didn't I would assume it seemed like everyone knew that if someone was torn, they were kind of aware, right? So it's safe to assume Joe knew she was torn. The men talk and he knew she had that other connection. I want to know who it is. She said he got no camera time, so who knows? Maybe somebody will come forward and or maybe Joe will bring that up on the reunion or who knows? We'll never hear about it again. But I would like to know who it is just because I'm nosy. So, the most serious thing Madison said, which I think is definitely going to get people against Joe, that, well, people already are, but she said he gave her an eating disorder. He said she said the petite conversation that we saw him have to the producers and not to her, he also repeated to her and said, "I usually date more petite women," to her face. So she said it gave her an eating disorder, but she's healthy now. So it was like a very like a short eating disorder, which I understand that that's hard to hear. It's so hard though, right? Because like as women, we see on the show, maybe not on this version, but on the foreign one, we will see someone say, I usually like a taller man, but I am attracted to you, right? We do see people mention their physical preferences. And if his is a petite woman, that it is what it is, his wording is really bad.
Yeah.
He has somehow made it sound like she's this huge, big bodied girl when she's absolutely not. And I just think he should have shut up. I don't know what his point was. I get that that's your type, but like, what did you think you were going to gain from that? He's just
Yeah.
too honest. Like,
He's
there's
too
nothing
honest.
good will come from that.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. I think people are very sensitive when it comes to body shaming and weight and fat shaming and all of that. So it's just you can say your type, but you shouldn't mention her body at all,
No.
right? Like you
Mhm.
shouldn't mention her body at all. Like I, you just shouldn't. Like I like brunettes. I like gym rats. I like I typically date you know shorter girls I typically date, anything besides her size, even if that's true. You
Mhm.
maybe show her pictures of your exes and she can deduce, okay, he dates more petite women, but for him to say it is you shouldn't
Yeah.
have brought up her body at all.
Yeah, there's no good way to mention anyone's body. Like, there's just no need to do that, you know? Like, if it was the opposite or, like, someone was very thin and he's like, "I usually like a girl with more curves," we don't wanna hear that either. Like, it's just keep it to yourself, Joe. There's no reason it is body shaming, right? Even though,
Yeah.
yes, everyone is entitled to a preference, you don't need to let them know that, because then,
Yeah.
yes, you do spiral and think, okay, well, if I was smaller, then maybe this, and that would cause an eating disorder, even if it was just temporary for her, it will get you in your head, right? And so just think there was no reason for him to say that. If we've seen on the show before men that appear not to be attracted to their partner and they don't say that why to their face. We can all guess it's this or that, but he didn't need to say that. I don't know what his point was, and so he deserves to be called out for that because what were
Yeah.
you thinking going on TV and saying, "Oh, I usually like smaller women," and you didn't think, like, people were gonna have an opinion about that? That you just
Yeah. Yeah, but I definitely still think I think that Joe shows that he is
Yeah.
attracted to her, and I think that people confuse not my typical type and unattractive. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Just because someone's not your typical type doesn't mean that you find them unattractive. Just because you usually date more petite women doesn't mean that you don't like curvier women. And I think
Yeah.
that people have a hard time like blurring that line. And that's why he shouldn't have said it. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Because it's just like she's attractive, she's curvy, and I like her curves. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think that's the problem is he thought it was okay to say because he, in his mind, isn't saying, "She's not attractive because I like smaller girls, she's not smaller." He was saying, "I am attracted to her. Yeah, my usual type is petite, but I like her too." Like, he was sort of just trying to explain the experiment to them and being
Yes.
like, "Wow, this can work because I normally would pick a petite woman off the street, but because I fell in love with Madison in the pods, she's not my typical type, but I'm very attracted to her." He
Yeah,
was trying to say it in a good way,
so
and then he
bad
fucked it
with
up. So
words. Even to the camera, he's sitting there like, I usually and you could tell he's, like, trying to be delicate with his words, he's trying to find it, but he's literally like, "I usually like a a smaller girl, but, like,
mhm,
that doesn't mean that I don't like a more bigger girl." Like, you know what I mean? He's trying to say, "I'm still attracted to
mhm,
her, and I think she's hot, but, like, my exes have been smaller." And you just shouldn't have mentioned body at all. Typically,
no,
my exes don't look similar to her, but
yeah,
I think she's hot.
yeah.
Like, use
I
any
think he needs
other thing to describe it besides her size, because then it gives a gateway for things like this, because to me, Madison has made it very clear, especially in episode 9, that her and Joe do not have a physical problem. She
yeah.
said in her own words, physically, it's there 100%. So I'm really confused why people still think that he's not attracted to the girl. I'm
Yeah,
so confused.
he said he didn't she say that he said, "I wanna get you pregnant," or something, so, like, they're having a good time. People in the comments have been saying, "Just because he's having sex with her doesn't mean he's attracted, he's just horny." That's their argument, so
But she said no, I'm sorry. When they're sitting next to each other, he's rubbing her back, he's got his hand on her. You don't do that's things that naturally come to you when you are attracted to the person. It's not
yeah,
about being horny. Like, yes, I agree guys will fuck
Yeah.
anything, but I think, like, to have, like, wham bam, thank you ma'am is one thing, but you're having this passionate, spontaneous, intense, like, physical connection that's hard to do with somebody you're not attracted to. I don't care what
Mhm.
you say. And Madison knows that he's attracted to her, so, that's why I'm kind of confused why she's,
Yeah, he
you
just
know.
should have framed it better. And like normally, like when I see someone on the street, I pick up a petite woman. But damn, like Madison, I didn't even realize she's way more my type. But this is for me, right? Like it's just so hard because then people are still like, "Well, what do you
Yeah,
mean?
I
Like,
don't think he
what's
should have said
you
petite at
can't say
all,
it." No.
smaller, thinner. He should have said nothing about her body. He should have just said, "She's
Hmm.
not my typical type. She's not what I usually go for, but she's beautiful." That's it. Then it's up for speculation. Well, what is he talking about? What does he mean by typical type? Does he usually date brunettes? Does he usually date blondes? Does he usually date Asians? Does he usually date, you know, you don't know at that point. If
Yeah,
you say she's just not my typical type, but he did say that production, like, asked him outright, like,
yeah, yeah.
"Well,
They kind of
what's the"
force you to give
they force
details.
you to give details. What do you usually go for? He should have said anything else other than her body. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? But I do think that Joe still likes her. I still think he's attracted to her. I
yeah.
think
They
physically it's there.
Yeah, the party, they seemed great. This whole episode, actually, episode 9, they seemed great on a good track. They didn't have any bumps really, but we'll get into that. We'll start with any other receipt report. You hear anything going on?
Did I hear anything going on? Jordan has his butt tattooed.
Oh, I don't know if that's him in the
Oh,
picture though.
okay.
But is it? He shared his tattoo artist and the tattoo
Maybe
is the
not. Maybe
full,
not.
but
Maybe
I would
not.
assist
Let's show you guys because no, I feel like it maybe it's not him.
the paper thong is a look, but
No, yeah, yeah, I don't think it's him because he doesn't have these tattoos,
no.
right?
But
These are not his tattoos, but then this same guy,
he does have his legs and his arms though. So is it the full body? Not his neck, right?
because he has his full leg tattooed.
Yeah.
Jordan has his full leg. This guy doesn't.
Anyways, the tattoo artist he shared that does the full body, does it's all over it's your butt and everything. So we just thought that's
He's
an
a really
interesting look.
great tattoo artist, like very
Yeah,
good
it's
work. If
beautiful.
I was into
Mhm.
tattoos, I would. Jordan's tattoos are actually very nice, like, very well
Yes.
done. So, just kidding, guys, Jordan doesn't have a butt tattoo, but his tattoo
As
artist
far as we know.
does tattoo butts if you're interested.
If you want your whole butt covered, that's the place to go. So what is the tattoo artist's name? I forget because I feel like
He tagged at it's A_Canino, Canino, and he
all right,
also
we'll give
tagged
him a
at Mercy SLC, so I'm not really sure which one's the tattoo artist, but I
Salt
think
Lake
the
City.
Canino, Andy Canino is his name.
Wait a minute. Does that mean that Salt Lake City is Jordan not from Denver either? Is he coming in here from Utah? No, his kid is in Denver, right? Yeah, they're in
Yeah,
Denver. Now I don't know where everybody's from, but
yeah.
speaking of Jordan, this episode started off with his Crystal Light chicken smoothie. What do you think about that? Would you taste it for
I
the
would not
man that you
taste it.
love?
No.
No, me either. Couldn't do it.
I'm not doing it. That was so disgusting. I honestly thought it was a prank. I thought he was just trying to prank Sparkle Megan into drinking that. I'm like, there's no way this is actually what he drinks. Like, just eat
Mhm.
the chicken, bro. Or like she said,
Yeah.
just make six eggs. Why the Crystal Light, Ashley? Why?
To give it some flavor, I guess. But yeah, isn't there like protein powder? Like that's good in a smoothie. Or like, yeah, some chicken with a little like barbecue sauce. Like, why do we need a liquid chicken? What is the point?
That had to be for sure. There's no protein powder with a little almond milk and a banana.
Yeah,
I
you
don't
don't need
understand.
liquid chicken. Someone in my comments though did say like this, you guys are acting like you invented this, and a lot of people do this. So maybe in like the, I know, in
Maybe in
the
the bodybuilding world, it's
yeah,
a I
it
get it.
must be.
I think chicken with water and, I don't know what the Crystal Light's about. I feel like you could have done without that. But I get it, it's leaner, right, than a protein powder,
Mhm.
has less calories probably than a protein powder, but just eat the 2 breasts of chicken.
Yeah, I guess it's like a timing thing. It's fast, you just gulp it down, but I just feel like I would feel sick all day after that, and it would ruin my whole day. So
Disgusting.
I can't do it.
Disgusting.
Yeah, but I was gonna say it's working for him, but, like, I don't know, he's not that like, what does that
You're
do?
not
Just give you
competing.
muscles?
You're not competing, and, like,
Yeah,
you don't need to eat like that or do that unless you're competing, and I don't see Jordan competing, so
no,
please do not ever eat that again. Megan's brave for even trying it, because I wouldn't have
so
tried it.
brave.
That's
Yeah, I'm
disgusting.
impressed. She said it tasted like gasoline, I think she said. So, yeah, no thank you, but, Nick, then we see him trying to help Annie out at her salon to do a little building, which was hilarious. Have you seen that meme going around where that girl, like, tried to ask a guy, like, they had a date planned. He was coming over to, like, watch a movie, and she's like, "When you get here, can you, like, hang this thing for me?" And he was like, "Oh, like, I don't know, I'm not that handy." And then, like, 5 minutes later, he's like, "No, I'm canceling the date. Like, I'm turned off now that you asked me to hang something." And everyone's like, "He just doesn't know how to hang shit." And that's the vibe I got from this scene. Like,
Right. Yeah,
Nick is not handy. He doesn't know how to. She would've been better off just trying to get some girlfriends over and do it themselves. I don't know if he's,
yeah.
like, although his cabin looked, he said he built that little video game
Yeah, that's
thing.
why I thought, I mean, maybe I didn't pay much attention to that scene because it was, like, really, really short, and I'm like, "Oh, he's helping her out," but I didn't realize that he didn't do well.
No, he was fumbling a little at the end. He was getting a little stressed, so but maybe it was something complicated, who knows? Then we see KB get some rollerblades. At first, I was like, "This is cute." He ordered her something, then I saw it was rollerblades, and I was like, "I don't know."
Yeah, I think he's just trying to, like, bring her into his world a little bit. He said he loves rollerblading, he's part of a rollerblading community, so I
Mhm.
guess he's trying to implement that in her life. I thought it was a
Yeah.
thoughtful gift. I don't know that she's gonna be using them. I just in the last couple of scenes with KP and Edmund, you could just so tell that she's over it, like, she has the ick. There's no
Yeah.
coming back from the ick. It's done, my boy. It's just done.
Mhm. Yeah, Madison did actually say something interesting too about Edmund just because they asked her like, "What's your take on Edmund?" And this was just her opinion, but it did make sense. She said, he mentioned he grew up in foster care, he didn't have a good childhood, and doing things like acting out was how he got attention. So that's how he like thinks you get love is to be silly and crazy and do these things. So I'm like that does make a lot of sense. Like the way he's acting on the show because everybody's like licking the floor and doing all this, like, who would do that? They're trying to diagnose him with this and with that, but maybe that's just what it is, right? That's how he's learned that people will love me if I do these outlandish things. So I thought that
Mhm.
was an interesting observation, but
Yeah,
still
but when
doesn't mean you
you're
wanna marry someone that does that for
right, and if
KB's
you're
sake.
aware of this behavior, right? Like, you're aware that you do this for attention, like, at what point do you stop if it's, like, annoying to your partner?
Mhm.
Like, I don't
But she
know.
hasn't really said well, we'll get to the party, but, she hasn't really talked about this stuff with him. Although maybe she hasn't seen it, right? Like, I don't know if he's doing the floor kissing. He's done a little bit of silliness in front of her, like going in the cupboard, but maybe she hasn't seen some of like what we have seen to that level. But
I feel like you have to she has to have seen it because I've seen it, like, even in the pool scene or when they're
yeah,
together, like, when
the
he's, like,
feet thing.
yeah, like, screaming at the top of his lungs, like, somebody's gonna jump in the pool. "Yeah, yeah!" Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Very over
Yeah,
the top.
she knows.
She knows. She fucking knows.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe she has tried to talk to him. But anyway, we see Megan and Jordan go look at a house, which I don't know. It felt a little, like, performative for the cameras, like, do you really think she wants I mean, she has a $1.5 million house in LA, but that's probably a very modest house, right? In LA, 1.5
Absolutely.
is not
Absolutely.
fancy. It's a
1.5 is not gonna get you what that house that they were looking at
no,
in Denver, that's for sure. 1.5 is gonna get you, like you said,
a
something
nice little
very modest, very nice little 3-bedroom,
condo.
maybe, if you're lucky, maybe a condo, like, you know what I mean? So, I'm like, I don't know. It did seem kinda like she was looking like, kinda flex a little bit. I don't know, that's the
Yeah,
vibe I got, like, she was looking at
definitely.
him like, "You like this?" Like, "Yeah, I can afford this." But I did like that Jordan was like, "I wouldn't feel comfortable with her buying this house. Like, I would feel like a moocher, and I'm used to being a provider. I think this is the first time that we've seen him say, okay, like we
Mhm.
were talking about if a man would feel emasculated with the woman taking care of everything. And I think this is the first time where we've seen it to
Yeah.
where he's not just comfortable with it. So,
And that's gonna be a huge problem because if I have the money for that house and you don't, I'm not living in a junky little house because you can't afford the house. So either let me buy this house so that because I can afford it, or it's not going to work out, right? Like she shouldn't have to live in a what he can afford, and then what does she do with her money? Yeah, we figured this will be a problem because she shouldn't have to live way below her means. She should buy what she can afford, right? And if he can't keep up, then that's not going to work. But it would have been a good deal for him to get that house, and all he has to do is split a $500,000 loan with her.
but it
So
sounds like he
250.
can't even afford that. It sounds like
No,
he was even like, oof.
yeah,
Yeah, which I
that's
mean, granted, a lot of like $500,000 is a lot of money. Yeah,
5,600 square feet is crazy. Like, that is insane.
for 3 people too.
Yeah, you wouldn't even use, like, half of that house, I don't think.
Right.
So, it did feel a little, like, flexy, like, it's great. Anyone could go look at a house on these shows. Anyone could go into any house and be like, "Yeah, I'd buy this house, but I wanna see the paperwork." Like, "Let's see you actually buy this house, then I'll believe it." But a little tea because I've been following her on Instagram before the show came out. It does look like she's bought a nice house. She's been posting there was like a photo shoot done at the house, and I can't tell if it was the same house, but it had like a nice bar area. So I think she did buy a house, but who knows if it's with Jordan or not. We'll see. It didn't look quite the same, so maybe a little more modest, but it felt just like for the show to going to see this ridiculously big, expensive
Was
house.
beau
Although 2 million isn't that bad for that house.
it's beautiful.
Yeah,
Yeah. I'm like,
going
that's
from LA to Denver,
from Denver for 2 million, like, you're definitely not getting what'd she say, 7 bedrooms?
6, I think.
6 yeah,
Which they must be big bedrooms then, because that's
yeah,
a big house.
yeah, you're not getting that here at all,
No.
so
Then we see Nick introduce Annie to his family. His parents were sweet, but definitely, yeah, they it is an interesting dynamic. What did you think about his parents?
I just thought the only thing that I wrote down about that scene is that Annie was nervous about her hair because his mom's a hairstylist, but Annie owns a hair salon. So I'm like,
Yeah,
and there's something about Annie's hair. I don't it just seems like she has a lot of hair. I know some people are speculating that she's wearing like a bad wig, but it's like really I don't know if she just has a lot of extensions because sometimes when I have my clip-ins in, I'm trying to make it fuller in this area for volume, and it seems like she has a lot of hair right here to where it almost looks like a helmet. Like I'm like something looks off about this hair, but that's the only thing I have written down. I just thought I mean, I think his parents are nice. I mean, I
yeah,
think sweet. I think the
yeah.
parents are always nice. They're always sweet, you know?
They are, yeah, and they seemed happy with Annie. They liked her, but yeah, I've seen a lot of commentary online, like, how can she be a hairstylist and have hair like that? So maybe, I mean, she doesn't do her own hair, I guess. So maybe she tried something new for this with the extensions and it just didn't go well
Well, it's
because
because if
people,
you just because you own the salon doesn't mean you do hair in it.
yeah. Yeah, maybe she's not a stylist. Is she actually a hairstylist? I just
I
assumed
don't
if you
I ju
have.
it just says hair salon owner.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe she doesn't actually do the hair, so that would make sense. So
Well, but if somebody does it in her salon, that's not very good advertisement.
maybe she did it on purpose for marketing, which is crazy. But like now everyone's gonna be like, I gotta see this salon that did her hair. And then they go look and it's like they have nice pictures. And it's like, oh, okay. At least it gets them some business, maybe,
No,
but
I think
it's
it's
not a good ad.
definitely stay far away from that hair salon. This is gonna be the result.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then we see Anton and Allie having a little chat about going to the party. They don't really say much here. They're just talking about, like, he thinks a lot of people will be flirting. She says, not you, or you flirt. I don't care if you flirt, whatever. So then we like see her talking when we get to this cowboy bull riding party. I don't know what the theme was really, something Western, but was telling the girls he likes to have beers after work, which is in the morning time. And Madison, they all seem like horrified. But it is the same, like you said before, you get off work in the morning, that's like your nighttime, right?
Yeah.
So is it weird or not?
I don't know. I'm indifferent about it, right? Because it's like to me, he's having 2 beers after work. It's the equivalent of him having 2 beers at 6 o'clock. I wonder
Mhm,
if she would think that's weird that he's having 2 beers at 6 o'clock PM,
mhm.
you know? But it is weird to drink in the morning, but it's different
Yeah.
when you work a night shift, you know?
Yeah, your
So
whole day is reversed, right? You would do your productive things probably. Maybe that's the problem is, like, normally if you get off work and then you have, like, a good chunk of time and then maybe you have your beers, but if you're getting off work, you probably have your beers right away and then go to sleep, I guess? So maybe that's the problem is it wouldn't leave a lot of, like, beer-free productive time or, like, hanging out together if she's not having the beers too. Maybe that's her concern. Because yeah, if you're just getting off work and having a beer, that's not that strange, but
it's
it would
to me, it's not strange. To me,
no.
it's not strange because he works a night shift. Now, if he was waking up in the morning and having 2 beers with breakfast, then I'd be a little concerned, you know?
Yeah.
So I think it's hard. I think it's you hear the morning time and you're like, but it's like he works the night shift. He's having 2 beers after work is what he's doing.
Mhm,
But I think she's starting to realize that he's living a life or their lifestyles don't really align is what it's starting to
mhm.
seem like. And I
Yeah.
think that Allie just needs somebody a little bit more, I don't wanna say manly, but manly, you know?
Yeah, I mean, a night shift schedule would be hard, like, that's a big thing to get used to get over. I think because she's a nurse, she also works nights
Yeah.
sometimes, but maybe not to the level that he does, so hers is probably more. Because I think is she working, like, full-time, did she say, or, like, a little
She
bit?
said 3
Yeah,
usually nurses work 3 12-hour night like,
right.
12-hour shifts, and that's their week. And
Yeah,
she did say something along the lines of 3 shifts, so I'm
mhm.
assuming that's what she's doing, yeah.
Yeah, so that probably just gives her and it's like a couple days in this night shift world, but then also like half the week of like normal time, right? And so if he's doing like 5 or 6 days a week, that's more like your life. Like there is nothing else but beers in the morning, sleeping in the day, working at night. So she's definitely going to have to accept that that's part of being with him or he'll have to change. Like doing night shift would be hard, I think, when you have kids and all of that. So again, things they probably should have figured out in the pods, but it's
Right.
different when you hear it and then live it, I guess.
Exactly, and that's my point about Madison and Joe's fight that they had in episode 8. You can know what you're signing up for all you want, you can know what the experiment is about, but living it is a much different thing. So to be upset with him that he's has reservations about it or saying that this is hard or saying that this is emotional is like, I don't think that that's crazy. But
Mhm.
anywho, I do think that a night shift is something that's temporary, you know?
Yeah.
So especially for nurses, like, usually nurses, I have a lot of friends that are nurses, sometimes they start on a night shift, because everybody wants to get that day shift or that morning shift or whatever, so and if she's a traveling nurse, I'm sure her shifting changes all the time. Um, Traveling nurses make really good money too, by the way. So
Yeah.
I think she's just accustomed to a certain lifestyle that I just don't
Mhm.
think that Anton is ready to be a part of. I think
Yeah.
she's starting to realize that, so
Yeah, they definitely have a lot of differences. Then we see Patrick talking about Casey and what happened there. Something she left out when she talked on the Vial Files was this whole ring conversation. Now, do they get to just keep the ring? And isn't that an incentive to get engaged and then just call it off if you get to keep that? Like, I think on The Bachelor, they have some sort of rule. Like, if you don't stay together for 2 years, you don't get to keep that ring. So, why don't they have that rule on this show? Do you think they want to entice people to get engaged a little bit more?
don't know. I haven't figured out if I'm so confused because Anton said he paid $5,000 for the ring, and then we hear in this episode Sparkle Megan say that they didn't have any emerald rings to pick from. So are they paying for the ring or are they picking the ring? I don't know. And either which way, Casey, why would you keep the damn ring when you
Hmm.
don't want to be engaged to this man? Jackie did the same thing, and her whole point was, oh well, Marshall didn't pay for the ring. It
Hmm.
doesn't matter, you don't want the ring. He wants it back because maybe he did pay for it. If he paid for it, you definitely need to fucking give it back.
Yeah.
But even if he didn't, like,
I
what are
don't think they
like
are
he
paying for it. I think what Anton was saying was the ring was 5,000. I don't think he actually paid that. I think that's what those rings were worth. And maybe she was like hinting at the fact that he should upgrade it to something nicer because obviously they're not maybe what you would want. And that's why we see Mike say, "Well, I would have got you like what you wanted because I have the money, right?" And so
right. Well, if you have the
does
money,
he?
pay your fucking employees, bro. Like that's he first of
Allegedly.
all, that whole scene was so cringy, like, but we'll get there.
Yeah.
But I think that
But
they've upgraded their rings so well. You know what I
mhm,
mean? I thought their rings are beautiful. Like the rings that they have now compared to season 1, they're
yeah.
actually really nice rings, you know?
Mhm. Yeah, and it definitely makes you realize that this is a whole another incentive for these people to get engaged. Like, because we keep being like, why'd you get engaged if you didn't like anyone? But if you're getting this 5 grand to just walk away with, that's a pretty big incentive. And I see why, like, I'm assuming Patrick didn't pay for it, and neither did Casey. So if she gives it to him, he's getting to walk away with 5 grand. And if she keeps it, she's getting to walk away with 5 grand. So they're fighting over this $5,000 ring. No one actually gives a shit about being married or engaged. They're just like, it's basically a prize money at this point,
Yeah,
right?
I would think that Netflix gets the ring back in some way because you could use it for another season. It's not like you
They
can't
don't
use it
though.
again. That's
I
really
know
crazy.
I remember Natalie and Deep Tea talking about one of them like threw theirs in a lake or something is what they said. And yeah.
Why would you do that? Like,
I know because of the symbolicness or whatever. I really think they all just pawn them or sell them or
yeah,
whatever.
sell it. You
So
do something. You do something.
yeah, because I remember Marshall wanted his back from Jackie to propose to someone else. No, he just wanted that 5K, and I get it. You go through all that. A lot of them quit their jobs. They don't have money. You want if you're the one that ends the relationship, you should give the ring back. Maybe not to the other person, but give it back. So I
Yeah.
understand why they're fighting over it, but it makes them look ridiculous. So I don't think she gave that
Yes.
ring back to him
Also, like asking for the ring back is definitely like
when you didn't pay for it. Is a
it's
little.
it's it's a it's you're trying to make a statement. We'll give it back then. If you don't want to get engaged, we'll give it back then. But you're trying to make a statement, but at the same time, when you're the one who ended the engagement and you were a complete dishonest asshole, the least you could
Mhm,
do is give the damn ring back if that's what he's requesting. And
mhm.
that's what she left out because she knew it was going to make her look worse. And you ghosted technically because he said he never heard from her again once she asked it for
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, she definitely, like, tried to make it seem like she didn't ghost him. They did have a conversation after they left filming, but then she ghosted him after that, so it's
Yeah,
like
I don't know. They have very different accounts of what happened, right? So
yeah.
now we're hearing him say more of what's in an alignment, in my opinion, of what she said on the Vile Files. You know what I mean? Like who reached out first, we don't know. She says she reached out first. He's saying he reached out first to have
Mhm,
this conversation because we're going to be in front of all of the cast. They're going to be asking, what do we say? So I get why Patrick wanted to have a conversation before they got in front of everybody. To me, that's
mhm.
100% valid. She is
Yeah.
saying, oh, he wanted to have this conversation on a Friday. I wanted to wait till Monday. But I don't think it was the Friday that was the sense of urgency. It was, we're going to be in front of cast. What are we telling them? Like, because I'm kind of
Mhm.
confused at what's going on. So for her to say on the Vile File, she said, oh, the conversation is not going to go how you want it to go. And
Yeah.
then also tell him she left this out on the Vile Files too. We'll tell
Mhm.
everybody that we're broken up because we still need to have a talk. So it's
Yeah.
like that's the narrative that you want out there. That's what you want me to tell everybody. So at that point, I now understand why Patrick was like, "Oh, well, if that's what you want me to tell everybody, we don't need to have a conversation because
Mhm.
we're having a conversation about what it is. You're telling me what it is, so we don't need to have a conversation." So again, on the Vile Files, very vague, very elusive, very trying to paint herself in a positive light because had she said that on the Vile Files, well, I told him to tell the cast, you know, that we're broken up, but we'll still talk on Monday. They would have been like, there's no point. There's no point in talking. So now it makes more
Mhm.
sense why Patrick didn't want to talk.
Yeah, and she did mention on the Vile Files that there was a cast meetup right after this whole text exchange between them and that she went and it didn't go well. Remember the one where he called her, "Hey, ex-wifey." So I wonder if this is the event she's talking about, and they just cut her out because she left or something happened, or if there was a whole another cast event around the same time.
Do
It's
you
very
think
confusing.
I mean, we didn't see it in the previews for next week, but I'm like, you think she's just not coming to this cast event?
I don't think so. But you
Okay.
think maybe we'll see her next time?
No, because I think they would have showed it in the preview. That's like a
Yeah.
big event that everybody's waiting for.
I
Um,
think maybe she tried to go, and then when because it seemed like the vibe was kind of anti Casey, right? They all kind of figured out what had happened. She saw Patrick, she ran. And I think maybe she showed up and people weren't very like welcoming. And so she was like, okay, never mind. But I'm surprised they wouldn't show that though, right? So
yeah,
maybe it
I
was a
think that
different event.
maybe they were talking about a different cast meetup.
Hmm.
That was off camera. That's what I took from it was like,
Yeah.
it's a different cast meetup. What did you think of Patrick and Anna's talk? Because that was very interesting.
It was. I mean, just being real, I thought Patrick was kind of annoying in this episode. I think it is silly of him to say, it was you and I was 100% in on you. Like, I would have proposed to you, because he did end up proposing to Casey and he called her a distant second. And in
Have
my
you
mind,
have you seen his TikToks?
no, what did he say?
Girl, he posted a TikTok. Like, that sound that's like, and then you look like,
Yeah.
and you're like, you know, he girl, I took a screenshot of it.
No.
It was like when she finds out that she was the side chick the whole time, and it was to that sound. Yeah.
Patrick.
Yeah. So
He's
it was
not helping.
oh, maybe the screenshot didn't save. This new stupid phone, like, when you screenshot, you have to, like, click the check in order for it to
Oh,
save. I'm so
no.
used to it just but I'm sure I could find his TikTok, but
Yeah, I'm looking now because
basically, it was like, din 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 din, like, and the wording was like, when she finds out that you were the side chick the whole time, and then, like, the
damn.
comment said, like, "Cat's out the bag," and first of all, the comments were not on his side. Somebody sent it to me, so I'm sure it's in my, thing.
Okay.
First of all, I'm very much enjoying all of this CapCut template has this with Edmund being like, "I'm too fucking nice," and people just putting their own little scenarios on it. It says, "When
Oh
the
my
copy
gosh.
isn't the correct color, but you don't say anything." I've been seeing
Oh,
so
no.
many of these, like, it's so freaking funny.
Are you
He took it down. He took the video fucking down because it was
oh,
right here. It was right here, and it says video unavailable.
and your screenshot didn't work. It's okay, we'll find it on the internet somewhere, so that is so dumb of him
Because
because he was
the
playing
comments
up
were not
this.
on his side. All of the
No, and
comments
they shouldn't be.
like
Yeah.
those memes that are like, yeah,
Yeah,
they were not on his side.
this whole conversation for me, like, really shot himself in the foot, because you can't play victim on both ends, right? If you want to be the victim with the Casey story, then you're the bad guy with Anna. Not the bad guy, but you know what I mean? You're not played by both women. Either you liked one more, and if Casey was in fact your distant second, your second choice, then we can't fault her. I mean, I definitely do think it's because of she wasn't attracted, and she said that, but it's like he didn't want her anyway either, is the way he described it in the pods. So that's almost worse, because it's like, okay, you didn't want her in the pods, but you proposed anyway because you just wanted to be on the show, because we even heard him say, take me to Baja after he got dumped. So we know he really
Yeah.
wanted the screen time. And then you you're trying to act like you changed your mind when you saw her then. So that's the same but reverse, because you said you weren't really into her in the pods. So it's still Casey's fault, but I just feel like he can't. I think I disagree with Anna, basically what I'm trying to say. I don't
Okay.
think you can say you were my number one, but then you left and then I fell in love with someone else, because it's only 10 days, right? Like,
Yeah, but I see this is where I feel like in this experiment, it's different. It's not real life. In the
yeah.
real world, you wouldn't date 10 people. There wouldn't be two people that you might maybe kind of sort of get engaged to. That it just
Hmm.
wouldn't happen. But in this experiment, it's very normal for you to have a number one and a number two, and it can go either way. Right? We
Yeah,
we see it happen so much. So I agree with
that's true.
Patrick. Like, I agree with Patrick that, like, you were my number one. If you would have never left, I would have proposed to you. Me proposing to Casey has nothing to do with mine and your love story.
Mhm.
We had a separate love story, and I went that way because you were no longer an option. We see it all the time. Zach proposed to Irina, went to Mexico, and realized I made the wrong
Mhm.
choice, and went back and reproposed to Bliss. You know, so sometimes your number two is your right choice. Same with Nicole and Benaya. She got engaged to
Mhm.
somebody else. So to say, oh well, you got engaged to somebody else, so that means that you didn't love me or you didn't like me or that I was never your top choice, I don't think is necessarily the case. Sometimes you get engaged to somebody and they
I
just
guess it's more the way he worded it. It wasn't like he was torn between two. He was like, she was a distant second. Like, I wasn't really into her. So that was the only part for me. If he would have said, I was torn between you both the whole time, you left, so I went a different way, then I would be like, yeah, that's what they do on the show. But it was more the way he was like, she was a distant second. I wasn't even like feeling her. It was 100% you. He never said, like, I was torn between you both, but then you
yeah,
left. He was like,
yeah.
I wasn't into her, but you left, so then I had to be into her because I had no other options, is sort of what it
Which I feel
felt
like we
like.
all seen. So maybe
Yeah,
that's why I'm not surprised by his wording, because I'm like,
yeah,
to me, it's so
yeah,
obvious that Patrick was not into Casey, and the only reason he was into her was because she was talking about her little pussy hairs
yeah.
and her little landing strip. You know what I mean? Like, he reeled you
That
back in
reeled
because
him back
men
in.
so easy. My God, like you know what I
Yeah,
mean? So to me, I guess I wasn't shocked that he said that because I was like, we all seen that. But then to your
yeah,
point, it does seem like so you kinda just got engaged for the show, and then when you seen her, you were like, "Oh, yeah, I hit the jackpot." So,
yeah,
I don't know, I see it both ways, like, I was
yeah,
trying to understand Anna, like, I got what she was saying, I was like, I get it." It's kind of like Kate and Annie, like, if you like, how can you love 2 people? In this experiment, I guess it's normal to have feelings of love for 2 people,
mhm,
you know what I mean? And Kate being like, "When I found out you were engaged to Annie, I was super surprised because I thought it was just me." And I think that in
mhm,
this experiment, it's never just you know? But I think him saying 100%, you can't say 100% when you went somewhere else because 100% means
yeah,
it's more or nothing, right?
yeah,
So that's a fair point. I
yeah,
didn't
that's
think
just where
about it
he's
that way.
losing me. If he was like, I was torn between you guys, then I would totally be on his side of like, yeah, she left and she didn't give you that chance that now you see she was definitely the better choice and you should have made that choice. But him saying 100% I would have chosen you, then you're like, okay, so then you faked it for Casey because you just wanted to be on the show. So he just shouldn't be talking like he was 100% in on one person because that isn't the point of the show. If he said, "I was torn between you both and I went the other way because you left and you gave me no option," that makes more sense,
Yeah.
but yeah, just the way he's saying it, like, yeah, it just feels like he really wants to make Anna the bad guy, and, like, he left. I don't know, she must be getting a lot of hate because she made a little story yesterday saying, "This is my last Love is Blind post, like, I went on thinking it'd be fun, and it's been horrible, and goodbye,
Insane.
everybody." So,
That's insane that she would be
yeah,
getting hate. That's insane that she would be getting hate because I did it. Is Blake getting hate? I don't know. He doesn't seem like it,
no.
the amount of interviews he's done, but I wouldn't think that she would be getting hate just for leaving. And like,
I don't know what she's getting hate for. The only negative comments I've seen is some people do feel like she pulled a Casey, but just before the reveal, where he did say what his ethnicity was, and that we had heard her say, I always date white guys," and that she, heard that and was like faking it in the pod when she was like, because I did feel like something was off when she's like, "Oh, that's so sexy," and we're so into each other, but I didn't
so
feel it, and
hot.
so
Yeah,
yeah.
I didn't
And then
feel
she
it.
left for, like, no
Yeah.
reason. So I think that
Mhm.
might be where some of her hate's coming from, people just not buying it, but we can't say that for sure because Blake left too, right? People leave
Right.
for
Okay,
whatever
now
reason.
I am remembering that people are having the take that Casey not Casey, god damn it, Patrick
Anna.
and
Oh,
Anna
Patrick.
are both experiencing internalized racism. So I think that's where which
Yeah.
I mean, I agree. They both seem to whatever. Not my pig, not my farm. You know what I mean? Like, so it's not, but I do see why people are saying that, right? Like,
Yeah.
and I see why it's coming off that way because it did. Like you're saying that being Cambodian Chinese is so hot and it's so hot and then you leave and then
Yeah.
now and then Ew.
they didn't give a chance to what could have been a really good representation, right? If they both really did feel the way they were saying in the pods. And they both did say we always date white people, right? And obviously if Casey or anyone else came on there and said, I only date white people, like you can't say that. And so even everyone has a preference, and we've talked about that that's okay, but saying it, I think people that are in the Chinese community or in the Asian community didn't want to hear that from someone representing them. This is a chance for you to represent our community and show us in a good light. And they're trying to
Yeah.
be real and honest, so it's hard, but they could have. Yeah, I think they're just upset that Anna left and didn't give it a shot, and that it would have been great to see her and Patrick together.
Did you feel like in that meeting, did you feel like there was an interest on Anna's end? Because I felt like there was an interest on Patrick's.
Yeah, I definitely don't. Anna seemed annoyed. I think maybe she had heard some things, because remember when he came up and was like, "You are my number one," and she's like, "Yeah, like we need to talk about that." It seemed like she had heard him saying this, like he had been telling people, "I only picked Casey because Anna left," and that maybe bothered her. But like you said, it is okay for them to have more than one option in the pod. So he didn't do anything wrong. Like Anna doesn't have a reason to be mad that he proposed to someone else at all. I just think him putting it fully on her, saying 100% I would have proposed to you if you didn't leave. That's easy to say now because we didn't get to see what happened.
But
So she's
I
annoyed that he's
think he
doing that.
would have. I do think he would have, though. I do think that if she wouldn't have left Anna, he would have proposed to Anna. But I
Hmm.
also think so I think you can 100% say, "I 100% was gonna propose to you." I think that's a valid statement, but I don't think it's valid to say, "I was 100% in on you," because that would mean all or nothing.
Yeah.
And if once I leave, you leave too, because there's
Hmm.
nothing else here for you. I think we've seen that happen, right? Charlotte left the experiment when she found out Ollie was gonna go another way. Now, again, he was just going another way. He wasn't, leaving the experiment. But I think if you have a really tight bond with somebody and they leave, you kind of don't want to start over. You don't think you're going to find that again and you
Hmm.
leave. Not like I had a distant number two. So I think him saying that he had a distant number two probably helps Casey out a little bit, you know?
Yeah. Oh,
Uh,
she's
when she's
she's put it on her
yeah,
Instagram.
like she's milking.
She's acting like she did nothing wrong now, which of course we're not saying at all. And
Yeah, she
like
did
I
do
said,
something wrong. Wait, what she put on
yeah,
her
it
story?
doesn't. Oh, she made a Instagram video of the scene of Patrick calling her a distant second, and just like shocked. She's shocked by that or something. Like it was like a funny thing. Let me see if I can find it. But him posting a video basically confirming that too is not good. Okay, this is what it says.
Oh boy.
It's like, oh boy, like I was his distant second.
Oh
So,
boy.
oh, there's a caption. It's something. Let me read it. When I think of when I think of all the tears I cried, stress I felt, and guilt I carried all this time for feeling the way I felt and for not knowing how to be honest with him, I can't say it feels great to find out that I was just a consolation prize all along. I mean,
She needs a PR team ASAP. She needs to stop fucking talking. Even if you were his number two, that does not
mhm,
justify what you did.
no,
A plus B does not equal C, right? It doesn't matter. You still
yeah,
pretended like you liked this man. You still pretended like it wasn't to do with his attraction and then told the camera it was to have to do with his attraction. You still weren't clear when you were breaking up with this man. You still jumped all over him while proceeding to tell us that you were not attracted to him. That doesn't change a single thing. I don't care if Patrick had 10 options and you were number 11. It doesn't
yeah.
change your actions.
No. And of course, like people in the comments are like, give him his ring back. And one of her friends commented, fun fucking fact, Netflix pays for the ring. It's not his ring, with a middle finger. Which facts, okay? It's not his ring. He shouldn't get the ring. Nobody should get the ring. If Netflix is going to take the ring back, that's on Netflix. But yeah, he should know going into that, this isn't even my ring. It's literally a prop. So
Yeah.
maybe if they took that away, then they wouldn't have people getting engaged for no reason. But then I think their concern is they might get no one getting engaged. At this point, they're barely getting the people as it is, right? So I
Yeah.
think the ring the ring incentive is helping at least get some engagements and some people to the altar. So they can't take that away from them, but yeah, it is weird that people are like hashtag return the ring and stuff on her post. So
Yeah, they did that. She's the new Jackie.
yeah.
She's the new Jackie is just what it is.
So anyway, yeah, it's like you said, two things can be true. I think he's being a little bit silly with Anna, but then I still don't think it's his fault. The Casey stuff that was on
Hell
her.
yeah.
So
Yeah. Like you
it's a
said, you
whole
can't be the
circle
victim
mess.
in both
Yes.
scenarios. Like which I didn't feel like he was trying to victimize himself with Anna, but he was definitely trying to get the point across that he really liked her and he wanted to
Yeah.
propose to her. And I think they both had a valid point. I'm actually going to go back and rewatch the scene because
hmm
I want to see if he said I was 100% in on you, or if he said I was 100% going to propose to you, because I think those are two different statements.
Well, the ending is a proposal. So if you're 100% in on someone, I would think that means proposal. Well,
Well, yeah, I mean, but that's the thing is I believe that he would have proposed over Casey. I
yeah,
think all of us could see that, right? But
yeah,
I don't know why everybody is making it like second pick is like, oh my God, like Casey.
yeah,
What second pick is a normal thing in this experiment.
yeah.
Jared trying to propose to somebody else and she said no, so he went to Ayana. Like, it's not like
Yeah.
we haven't seen it before. Like,
hmm
nobody wants to be second pick, but in this experiment, we have some second picks. Like,
Yeah. I think Anna was just already getting heat for leaving because people think maybe she left because of it's just like she found out more about Patrick and she left because of that. So then his little speech at this mixer saying you were my number one and you left, she felt like it's just a pile on and gonna make it worse. But if it's the truth, it is what it is. So I just
yeah.
think I understand
I
everyone's feelings
understand
make
both
sense
points.
here.
Yes, I
Yeah.
understand her saying, like, "When I found out you got engaged, I thought like, I felt so bad about you leaving, but when I found out you got engaged, still, like, I was like, 'Okay, he's gonna be okay.'" That's
Yeah.
totally valid, right? Like, "Oh,
hmm
okay, he cool, like, he wasn't that up my ass if he done found somebody else,"
Yeah.
like, you know what I mean? Like, I get that. So I guess I get both sides, but she
hmm
didn't seem interested. He seemed like he had a little twinkle in his eye, but I don't know.
Maybe, but yeah, I don't think she's interested at all. I just don't think he's her type. Maybe her and Blake are dating. He's not at this mixer. They gave him all this press, and he's not even here. I'm so
I don't know.
confused
I'm like,
about
is the
Blake.
mixer over? Because I felt like it ended with the mixer
Maybe
not
not.
being over, and I'm like, we need to see more of the mixer because exactly why
Yeah,
the hell isn't Blake here? Like, people want to see Blake and Anna. People want to see Casey and Patrick. Like, what the hell is Blake doing all this press for if he's not doing? If you either doing perfect match or you, because what the hell you
yeah,
on the files for? Like,
very odd. Yeah. Then we see Mike and Meg have their little chat, which, knowing what we know, it was hard to see because he's kind of a BSer. It might come across as like I would have got you that ring, and you
was
know
he flirting with her, Ashley?
it definitely felt like it. He said he wanted to DM her, and she said, like, "Thank you for not doing that." I don't know how genuine it was. I think he just wanted to make her, like, feel bad about her choice. I don't know what would happen what if she was like, "All right, you're the guy for me. I'm dumping Jordan. Like, let's get engaged." I don't think he's actually into her. He's just playing a game, it feels
You can
like.
tell by the way he's laughing, by the way he's like smirking, by the way he's like this man literally asked her, "Did you make the wrong choice?" Did you think she was gonna say, "Yes, I did. It was you. You. Let's go home together." But to me, Mike is
Yeah.
such a fucking bitch. Like for you to dap up Jordan, I hope Jordan gets in his motherfucking ass on this reunion because the level of
Mhm.
disrespect that he is showing towards Jordan. Like, this is supposed to be your friend, and now you're pulling his fiance to say, "Do you think you made the right choice? Like, do you,
Yeah.
I would have got you the ring," implying that her ring is not good enough, right? "I would have got
Mhm.
you something better. We would have lived a different life. Did you make the wrong choice with this guy? Oh, so you're going to the altar?" Like, you're so disrespectful, and I hope he gets in your ass. "Do you want
Yeah.
to dance?" He asked her, "Do you want to dance?" Why would I dance with you? Why
Yeah.
would I dance with you? Now, do I feel like she was laughing a little too hard and like the "don't look at my boobs" comment was like a little
Yeah.
inappropriate? People like Mike will take those comments and freaking run with them. And that's exactly why it went from like once he was getting a little bit of energy, he took it up. "Oh, I was gonna DM you. Oh, did you make the
Yeah.
wrong choice?" Like it was
Yeah. I
yeah,
agree. I do wanna know.
fuck up.
Right, it didn't make any sense because he told her, "I would've got you an emerald cut," after she said there was none there, but then he said, "I picked a ring out for you." So was there you would've got her one, but you said you picked out one of their
Yeah,
crappy rings.
yeah.
So he lies a lot, I feel like, is what we've got from his personality on the show, but, um, I thought that, Jordan was kinda being cringe again, like, they were getting too drunk again, like,
It's
what the
cringe.
hell?
It's cringe.
Yeah,
Yep, I said
he
it.
is
I have that
cringe.
written down too. I said I have that written down too. Like
That's so
Joe
funny.
and Jordan are drinking again. They're getting cringe again. Now, again, Joe, in his freaking words and him not knowing when to shut up. Obviously, when Jordan saw Allie get on the bull and he said, I feel like I shouldn't look. There's an implication there that you shouldn't look because it's inappropriate. A girl riding a bull in a dress is hot. Who
Mhm.
cares? We know it's hot. We know Allie's hot. We know that her
Yeah.
on this bull is hot. But you see how Jordan stopped himself at, I feel like I shouldn't look at this. Joe, I feel like I shouldn't look at it because it's hot. We know it's hot. You don't have to fucking say it. That's like, we
Yeah.
get it. We get the,
Well, she did have a skirt on, and you could see up the whole skirt, and I'm like, "Alright, go for it,
I
girl,"
think
but,
she had shorts on though, didn't she?
I don't think
Those
so.
weren't her panties. Were
Yeah, that's
they?
why I
I'm
was
gonna go back and look. Those weren't her panties, Ashley.
I think they were, that's why I was like, "Oh, okay." I mean, a dress shouldn't stop you from riding a bull, but
I know it
I
should.
wouldn't
No, it
trust
should.
my
If you have a dress or a skirt on, you don't ride the bull.
I thought I saw full panties. So I was like,
I gotta
"Yeah,
look.
of
I
course they're
gotta
having a hard time." So I only have, like, 4 minutes, so
Yeah, I
let's
know.
just finish. Okay,
Okay,
sorry.
one no,
Like,
I was
one oh
looking at
seven.
the time. I thought you had to go at
Oh, okay, okay.
for that. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll go back and look, but I'm almost positive that I saw panties. So I was like, yeah, I understand, like, men are men. They can't help themselves,
Yeah,
but
but I
they
don't
don't
know
have to say it. That's Joe's
you don't have
issue.
to say it, right?
But
He said it like I shouldn't look, but then Joe said it. And then Joe had this weird chat about Brendan, how Brendan would lay it down more than Nick, and he knows that Nick's not laying it down. Why are we talking about Nick's sex game right now? It was such a bizarre conversation to where Jordan kind of just like they're like the stooges. Like they're like
yes.
stooges. Like when they get together, they know no bounds. And even Joe's like, oh, I'm doing it again. This is how I got fucked up last time. Like, okay, now we're getting
But
to a point
no,
here.
yeah, no self-awareness. Like you or there is awareness, you know what you're doing, but you're doing it anyway, which is not a great quality in someone to marry. So I see people's point of like he doesn't seem like he's ready for marriage. He needs to do some work on himself, but it
Yeah.
feels like the only hobbies men in Denver have are drinking and talking about their friends' sex lives. Like all we hear is these men talking about each other and doing
Hugging,
shots. And I'm like,
missionary, like at least Brendan looks like he'll flip it and slip it or whatever the fuck he said. It's why are we, what?
why is he thinking about that, right? Like, why
Why?
are you I don't look at my female friends and think, "I wonder how they fuck." Like, I just not like, why are they thinking about this? It's
So
odd, but,
stupid. The
he was funny, though, when he talked about Nick. I hate having to give him credit for that, but it was funny. Apparently, the cast does not like Nick, and Joe let us know. He
it's
is
very
messy.
he's messy boots. It's very obvious they don't fuck with him. Like Madison even said something like we all have our feelings about Joe and I mean
Mhm.
Joe about Nick
Nick.
and it's very obvious. And then even now I'm thinking back to when Jordan was talking to Sparkle Megan in Mexico and she was like crying and he made a joke and was like was hanging out with Nick that bad like they don't like Nick, you know, they don't like Nick.
No,
I think
and
so moving on to KB and Edmund. They had a little thing at the mixer.
mhm.
Thoughts?
Uh, yeah, I mean I feel like I understand where Kibi's coming from. Like, you don't, he hasn't brought any of the stuff to her attention from what we've seen, and she does seem to be quite positive with him. I guess he wants more compliments. He's like a words of a affirmation person, but I feel like they should know that by this point. So I think he has a hard time reading social situations, and he
Yes.
didn't think it was a problem to say what he said. You could tell he's very confused by why she's upset, and he doesn't quite get it, right?
Yeah. I agree. I
Mhm.
100% agree. I think he thought he was being playful and
Mhm.
really didn't see the seriousness behind it or the implication really behind it. Oh, oh, that's nice to hear even though you know it's not true. Oh, that's nice to hear even though you know it's not true. And he said it several times to where it caught KB's attention and she's like, "Wait, what? Like
Mhm.
what are you saying?" To where he repeated it and she was like, "Okay," like letting him know like there's an implication there that I don't do it. And you know what I mean?
Mhm.
You would like to hear it because I don't do it. And then he did go into like, well, it would be nice if you said nice things sometimes. And, definitely not the place to have a conversation, not the place to have an argument about it. But you can't, you know, start it and then expect me not to finish it because now that you've said it, I'm in my feels and I want to talk about it. At first, it looked like they were having the conversation amongst the group and I was like, "Oh, dang, like, they should probably, like, go to the side," but, like, it did look
Mhm.
like they were off to the side, and like you
Yeah.
said, he just couldn't comprehend why she was upset. Um,
Yeah, I thought, this is the second kind of big fight that we've seen them have, and I would have thought, like you said, she has the ick now, she's kinda done, and so we see in the preview, it looks like things are good again, which surprises me because I mean, I guess that's not really a big fight, but she seems not very happy with him, you
yeah,
know, and,
yeah.
they have communication issues, which is kind of a big deal, so
I think all of our couples have communication
yeah.
is
I was
Mhm.
just thinking, like, usually we have this one or two or even just one couple that we're rooting for, right? Like, everyone else is a mess, but we've got that one couple that we know is gonna make it. We love them. They're our happy little couple. We don't have that happy little couple this time. I think it's the first time ever. So, I
Yeah,
mean, some are almost there, like Megan and Jordan are close, but we see some big issues that they could have, and Allie and Anton, same thing, right? They're not to the level that we usually see where there's, like, no storms ahead, like smooth sailing.
no,
So
we don't have it this season, and I guess I was, like, going back and watching some of the clips, and it's like, I guess I didn't realize how douchey Megan comes off. I didn't realize how braggy she comes off, with her
yeah.
money. You know what I mean? And, we literally lit Leo's ass up for that when it was his season and when he was doing
Yeah.
so I do think that as these episodes go on, we see or as these seasons go on, I'm noticing a huge difference in how people react to when men do something versus when women do something. I'm the first to jump up a man's ass. Like, you know what I mean? I'm a man hater, so I'm always looking for a reason,
Yeah.
but it's like you have to like I just call things how I see it, like either which way. But
Mhm.
I definitely think that it's an interesting dynamic. What did you think of KB when Edmund did Okay. So they have a little kind of chat and then KB kind of walks off and then Edmund goes back up to her to have a chat again and then he walks off and it was almost like he did it to have a moment and then like went over there like, "Oh my god, I'm so scared." Like I
Mhm.
walked away from her like, and it was a really bizarre moment because I'm like, "Why did you walk back over there just to walk away
Yeah.
from her?"
Yeah, again, he just doesn't seem to have a good read on social situations or, like, take cues from other people, so I think he was genuinely confused, but when he first said what he said, I was like, it wasn't that bad, like, how he said, "It's nice to hear even if it's not true," like, part of me thought hearing that, like, he's kinda roasting Nick a little, right? Like, we know he's not perfect. I didn't
Same.
really Yeah, I didn't think it was directed towards KB really, and so when she started being like, "What are you saying?" If I were him, if he could have explained better, he could have been like, "Oh, I'm just saying, like, we know it's not true about Nick, like, focus on that part." But then, the more she pressed him, he was like, "Yeah, like, you never say anything positive." So he, like, turned it into a fight about them when I
Mhm.
didn't think that's how he originally intended the comment, like,
I agree. I
yeah,
agree. He
I
was
don't
like
think he was trying to
but
pick
then
at
it's
her.
like, when you say it like, when he says it once or twice, it's like, "Oh, it's nice to hear even though it's not true," and then you're like, "God, that must be really nice to hear.
Yeah.
That is so nice to hear. That
Yeah.
is nice to hear from
Yeah.
your partner." Like, it then starts to be like, "Okay, there's some underlying meaning here." Like, you're trying
Yeah.
to get
You're
to a
trying to talk
point
about me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm, and then she kinda walks off, and he tries to do this, "I love you," right? Like, I
Mhm.
love you," and she's like, "I told you I don't wanna hear that when we're having a discrepancy because it's not about us loving each other right now. We know we love each other, but, like, that's not what it's about. It's about,
Mhm.
I'm upset right now, so let me express myself, let me share my feelings. Don't try and override it with this, 'I love you,'" you know? She walks off, kinda has a moment with the girls, she tries to come back, and she's like, "Don't talk to me," just straight up to Edmund, "Don't talk
Yeah.
to me," and then now he's sitting over there moping, um,
Mhm. Yeah.
it's I just don't know. I don't understand how she's made it this long, honestly, she
No.
deserves compensation at this point, it's wild. It's
Yeah, it's
wild.
not really a turn off when a man has, like, a temper tantrum, and this is a few we've seen from Edmund, so they do have quite, like, a mother-son dynamic. He is very immature, so I think it's smart, though, of her to say, like, "I don't wanna talk here. I don't think they should have those chats there." So that was good, but I don't know if he can understand that, that he seems to just want to talk right then and there when it's not the place you want to be fighting. So,
Yeah.
what about Nick and Kate's chat? Do you think he really told Annie that he loved Kate? We didn't see
I
that,
could
right?
have sworn, Ashley, I could have sworn that there was a preview somewhere of Annie being upset and saying, "I can't believe he told her he loved her too." Like, I thought I seen a clip of that, like, and I didn't see it in next week's preview. It had to be at the end of episode 6's previews, like, where I
Hmm.
thought I seen that. That's why I'm like, this mixer can't be over, like, right? Like, the
Yeah.
mix going to continue in episode 10, I think, because I
Hmm.
need to go back and check. You guys correct me in the comments if I'm wrong, but I don't we didn't see it. And if he
No.
lied like that with a straight face, it's very concerning because
Yeah.
I think his whole point was like, "I only love you. I don't know if he really said, "I don't know if I'll get there with Annie." I would have to go back and rewatch, but
Hmm.
the way he was just looking her in her face and making it seem like everything that she felt and everything that she said was just not how it was. I should have been more honest that I was in love with 2 people. I told Annie that I was in love with you. I don't know that Annie even knew that Kate was his number 1.
No, I definitely think from her reaction, like when the girls were talking to her and then she wouldn't talk to Nick, I don't think she knew either. It seems like
Yeah.
he just lied right to Kate's face like that because she seemed shocked. Like oh, you told her? Like yeah, nobody's believing that. And this is
It's like
obviously why.
straight, like, dead in the eye,
Yeah.
deadlock, no hesitation, no glancing around, you know what I mean? Like, just dead on. "Yes,
Hmm.
I did tell her. I'm sorry. I should have been more upfront with you with my feelings, and how you felt was inaccurate because I was just like, it was so bizarre to watch." So I am very
Hmm.
curious to see if he did actually tell Annie. I don't think
Yeah, he just needs to be real because we all saw what happened. He told Kate he loved her. She didn't say it back, so he moved on to the next because all these people care about is getting engaged and getting more screen time. So he just needs to be real about that, which we do see in the preview. It looks like him and Annie have like an intense discussion. So maybe I mean, I'm hoping she will confront him, but I don't, unless Kate talks to her, I don't know if she's going to really see how much she lied, you know? If Kate doesn't tell her, "He told me he told you," straight up, like, I don't know if she really gets
s
that.
I feel like I'm crazy or I'm watching too much Love Is Blind, and maybe I'm, like, having dreams about things that didn't happen, but I feel like I seen a preview where Kate and Annie are having a conversation, and she's like, "He told me he told you," and she's like, "Am I tripping? Are you not
Nick
recalling
Keith?
this at all?
No.
Did
Well,
I have something like Joe?" Like, I don't like, I'm just combobulated because I feel like there was a scene or a clip of like
mhm,
a little of of Kate and Annie having a conversation, because at this point I think everyone's figured Nick out. Everyone's figured out that he's fake, that he's phony, that he's
mhm.
there for the wrong reasons. And so I don't imagine a world in which Kate and Annie wouldn't have a conversation and say, "Hey,
Yeah.
this is what he told me. I just want to make sure that he's being upfront and honest with you."
Do you think it would've been on the preview for, like, the whole season or after this episode 6?
Maybe one or the other. I'm like,
I'm
I'm
watching the preview they put on right at the start of the season to see if we can get any clues from that, and what I
oh,
see is I see this is not this isn't good. Nick and Annie making out in these little cowboy outfits. You see that? So
mhm.
he must weasel his way back in, unless that was at the start of the night. I don't really
Yeah.
know. Yeah, it doesn't look like they had like any kind of fight, but
What am I
oh, they showed. No, they show Annie talking to Nick, they show Kate talking to Nick, but they don't I don't see that. But I'm not looking at the one at the end of episode 6, so maybe it's there.
Okay.
They really gave away the whole season
They
at the start
really
of
gave
the
away the whole season in the first trailer. I said that. I always say that. Like in that first opening trailer, they give it away.
give it all out. Yeah. I guess we'll see what happens next time. All I see is a lot of crying, so I don't know. We've seen that so far already, I guess. Lots more crying to come that we haven't seen yet, so stay tuned for that. Anything else happen at the party that you noticed? You wanna
Um, hold on, pause it. Let me get my notes.
Oh,
Um,
what is this? 11 minutes.
yeah, I think that was actually it, actually.
I got a
Nick,
couple more things.
Nick riding the bull. We already talked about the Brendan and Joe thing.
Mhm.
Um, everyone thinking Nick is calculated, taking shots. Yeah. No. Okay, what else
Okay.
do you have? Oh, Allie.
So yeah, just their little the party ended with Allie and Anton talking, right? And he said, like, oh, basically I didn't want to put our problems out here, and what did you tell people? And she said the truth, which she was going around, talking about this whole beer in the morning thing and what that guy's girlfriend told her, but nothing like major. I guess she didn't have to tell them that, but
No, I mean, to me, Anton is trying to upkeep this image of like
mhm.
everything's perfect. That's why I think earlier on in the episode, we hear her kind of tell him, like, you're being weird. You're being weird. Yeah.
The only other thing I noticed, I was keeping my eyes out in the background to see if there's any couples that we didn't hear about. We got
Mhm.
our detective hats on. I noticed Anton was having a lot of chats with Kay. Now we didn't see Kay a lot. Do you know who I'm talking about?
No.
We saw her in I think her name's Kaylin. Anyways, this
She has
girl.
the curly hair? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I seen her at the mixer. Yeah.
Yes, and her and Anton were having one-on-ones, and that they only do that if you had a pretty serious pod connection. So now I'm
Okay.
wondering, did Anton was it down to Kaylin and Allie? We never really heard about his other connections. So
Yeah.
I want the tea there. And also I mentioned Anastasia last time. I think she goes by Annie, was also there. Looked like she was having chats with Brendan. We heard that she had a connection go to the end and we didn't know who. Brendan is my guess because I saw them talking too. So
Okay.
just some little
Okay.
side tea. Obviously, they got cut, so probably nothing too crazy happened with any of them,
Yeah.
or they would have showed us. I hope, but
Yeah.
you never know. They might come out with some stories later, or maybe some people are dating now. So keep our eyes out for that. But I
Yeah,
think,
there's something off about Anton, and I can't put my finger on it. I can't
mhm,
read it. I do think maybe he's a secret fuck boy. Like,
yes,
there's something off. Like he's trying to portray to the camera like they're this perfect couple, and you could tell it's throwing throwing Allie off. We have a lot of A's. We have
yeah.
Allie, Annie. We have so many A's.
Megan and Madison and Allie and Annie. It's a mouthful.
And Anna.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Like, we have so many A's.
yeah,
But yeah, I do feel like she's kinda like, "Why are you putting up this facade for the cameras? Like, well, let's just, like, tell our story, like, we're not perfect, like, we are having problems," and he's kinda like, "What are you telling people?" And it's, like, the truth,
yeah.
but yeah, we'll see. I don't know. It looks like it's downhill for everybody in the next.
I definitely think if we're ever gonna have a season with no marriages, this is it. I don't have really faith in anyone except maybe Jordan and Megan at this point, but they have a really big hurdle. I mean, if she can afford a $2 million house, don't let that man stop you. I don't think he's nice and all, but he's kind of cringe, and I don't think he's worth it. Like, go buy your house and find a man that can keep up
Find
financially.
a man
Even
that
though
can
I know it's
find
love
a
is more
you don't
important,
have to
but
keep reminding how much money you have. That's just
yeah,
at the end of the day, that is honestly cringy of her to be looking at him like, "You like that I can
yeah,
afford this house?" Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just find, like,
it was
somebody.
showy.
Yeah, and if it's gonna make him feel emasculated, you have to be with a very confident man that can deal with a woman that makes more money than him, and honestly, it's not gonna help you being like, I would never drive a Kia. I would never wear this. I would never do this. That's not going to
Mhm.
help it. Not that you have to help or stroke his ego at any level. So that's why I'm saying you just need somebody that's more balanced.
Yeah.
I don't see it working. They have very different lifestyles and very different financial tax brackets, allegedly, you know?
Yeah. I would love to see just once on this show a man take a woman to see a $2 million house and be like, "You want this? This is yours if you want it." Like, we never see that.
They don't
We
exist anymore. Well, we might have seen it with Leo, but he didn't make it past the pods. So
True. Brittany really fumbled that. Like, you coulda had rich Leo, but you're out there with Maud's son. I don't even know if that's still happening. That was last year's news, so
yeah, yeah,
but yeah. I know. Money's not everything and looks are not everything. That's the whole point of the show. But if you have to pick one, looks or money, I don't know. If you already love the person on and their personality and you really love them on the inside, I feel like money is smarter than looks, right? Like looks fade.
like
Security.
if I'm going for looks, or looks can't pay my bills. Looks
Yeah.
can't do like you
And
know
we're
what I
only
mean.
talking about if you love the person. If you love their personality and then if there's a cherry on top. Definitely
Money.
think
No, just fine.
we know Ricky's answer, but
Oh,
again, this is
it's
coming
but I could not be with somebody that's like super duper rich and like fugly. Like I'm just like not attracted to them. Just
for
like
oh no.
like just like
Mhm.
really really unattractive. Like really really unattractive. I couldn't do it. No, I would have been married.
Yeah. Yeah, it's hard to find what you like, as someone that has everything, right? And that's why we see the struggles on the show and in real life, it's hard to find that person. So, we're
Yeah,
enjoying the mess. It's a messy season. I don't take it seriously, but I'm enjoying watching. So,
same, same.
yes. Oh, and we said we'll have a little surprise for you guys tomorrow. So, if you would like to know all the spoilers we've managed to dig up so far, we're going to do a separate episode so that we don't ruin it for our recap listeners. So check back tomorrow and we'll let you know what we know that's not on the show. Some spoiler tea. If you guys want it. Let us
Yeah,
know if you don't, but it'll be lots of warnings. So don't worry. We won't ruin anything for anybody. So,
yes,
yeah. Any
yeah.
other thoughts?
That's it.
You're good. All right. Well, this is a long one. Thanks for listening, guys. We had a lot to say about this episode. There's a lot going on,
And our recaps were longer. It's only 50,
right?
and it's like we had so much more to say.
And I feel like the next ones is going to be the same. So come back for the recaps if you don't want the spoilers, but we will be back tomorrow with that, and we'll see you soon. Thanks for listening. Bye,
Bye,
guys.
guys.